Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Alexander Belief's Tutorials. This is your host AB, and today I wanted to give you just a quick tutorial over the tone curve. Now I know I did an application and I did a big overview of Lightroom. I'll put a marker in the upper right corner so you can go back to that. But I just wanted to also create a few other breakdowns in the event that you're having trouble in certain areas and you just want to get to the section that you want to get to. So I want to talk about something that doesn't get a lot of shine. HSL sliders, they get a lot of shine. Split toning gets a lot of shine. But let's talk about the tone curve real quick. Okay, so let's just get into it. So giving you a basic overview of what the tone curve is, and actually let's go into solo mode. Did you know you could do that? Did you? So if you right click right just in this little space here, you right click that, you go to solo mode, it'll just show the tone curve because I just want to isolate that and I want to show the relationship between the histogram and the tone curve. That's all I really want to focus on at this moment. Okay, so let's go over a little bit of what this actually is. So this is the actual tone curve section. Panel rather. This is the curve editor, this right here. These are the split point controls, right? They're split and they're points. You can slide them around. Let's go and reset that. And these are the regional sliders or region sliders. They cover the areas that they are indicated: highlights, lights, darks, shadows. Now when you first open up Lightroom Classic, we're working in Lightroom Classic. When you first open up Lightroom Classic, it's going to be in the Parametric Curve mode. This is the default. This is the Parametric Curve mode right here. This is the default tone curve in Lightroom. And basically what the Parametric Curve does, it adjusts sections on the tone scale rather than individual points. Now there is a point mode, and we'll go over that in a second. But this goes over the adjust the sections of the tone as well. And it provides basically smoother transitions from tonal ranges and reduces the possibility of introducing undesirable hue shifts. Yes, I read that. That's the actual definition of what a parametric curve is in Lightroom. I wanted to give you the actual definition. So in case you're in conversation and people talking about the parametric curve or the tone curve, you want to make sure that you know what you're talking about. So you want to embarrass yourself. So that's what it is. These sliders basically give you a regional control based on where they're indicated, and it's to create smoother transitions and give you to prevent undesirable hues. So now that we know that, let's go into this. So you'll see right here when I put the cursor over highlights, lights, darks, shadows, you can see how the curve editor reacts. It shows you the range of the highlights, the range of the lights, the range of the darks, the range of the shadows. Now say I wanted to reduce the range of the shadows. You see what the range is right here in the shadows. And you can also come up here. If you do, this is split 4 different ways in case you didn't know. This is this right here, these little lines, boom, boom. So this right here is the highlights. Then when you move the cursor, it switches to lights, cursor over to darks, cursor over to shadows. Now, also I want to let you know that this controls, this kind of correlates to the, forgot the name of this thing. What is it? Oh, histogram. Yeah, this correlates to the histogram. So say you let's move the highlights up. When you move the highlights up, you can see right here in the highlight section, because the histogram is separated that way as well: highlights, exposure, shadows, and blacks based off the basic control here, right? But we're not doing that. We're just sticking to this. So I'm just letting you know it will correlate in some type of way. When you come up, you can see how to the right is lighter, to the left is darker. So you see, even if you push that up, and don't worry about how the picture looking. I just want you to look at the relationship between the histogram and the curve editor. When you push that up, And then when you push that down, bring that down just a little bit, right? So it all correlates. If you bring that down a little bit, it reacts. The histogram reacts. Let's go ahead and reset that. So dealing with the default parametric curve, let's go into a different image so we can see something that's not so dark. A lot of midtones, low on the lights, low on the shadows, just kind of just in the middle. And you see the histogram reacts as well. Let's hit the letter J so we can know whether we're too bright or not, right? That's what we want to see. Okay, so that being said, I'm just kind of messing around with some stuff right quick. There we go. Yeah, okay. So that being said, let's reset all of this, reset all. Boom. Okay. So say you are in the parametric curve mode and you want to just kind of play with it. This is really just a game of sliders. You heard of Game of Thrones? This is just Game of Sliders. So let's just play with it a little bit. Let's bring up the highlights a little bit. Bring down. Let's bring out this. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, nice. How that stone, the rock just kind of changes just when you bringing that down a little bit. Not too much on the shadows. Bring up the lights just a little bit. And then you have a picture with a lot more contrast and a little bit more depth. That is something you can do. And you see this huge S curve. That's something you can do with a parametric curve adjuster. Let's go ahead and reset that. Let's go into something that is called the targeted adjusted tool. So say we just want to target a specific thing. Let's go into another image. Let's go back to her. We just want to target some things. We click that and then you see the icon changes and say we just wanted to work with that. We can kind of come up there, just down, and it'll just control. You see where you hit the letter J, it'll tell you when it's too dark. The shadows get lost, but you can just adjust it like that by going up or going down. You adjust the range, the lightness and the darkness in the image. So if you wanted that effect, there you have it, right? And you can do that with anything. If you come over here, actually, here's something also. Let's put the reset on here. If you hit the targeted adjusted tool, wherever you go in the photo, you can see it correspond. Watch this. When I just skim over it, shadows, Adobe Sensei is reading it, right? Highlights right on the nose, right? This should be highlights here. Go down right around his neck. It's like shadow. So it's showing you what it's going to adjust. And so if you wanted to, say you have the darks right here, right? And say you wanted to reduce that, you can go in and just reduce the darks. So now you see it's not as much. Here's what it is now. And when you open it up, here's what it is now. So it basically controls the range of the highlights, lights, darks, and shadows. Now let's go to the point tool. So we're gonna go to the point tool. This is already a parametric icon. You hit that, boom. Now it goes to point curve. Now from here, let's reset. Let's make sure we all reset. Now from here, easy way to do it. If you want a little bit of contrast, boom. Come down here, hit the drop down menu. You got medium contrast, strong contrast. Let's go to the image we adjusted before. Let's reset all. Come down here, medium. Come down here, strong. Right? And then if you wanted to adjust it after that to bring in something else, say you wanted to just kind of maybe it's a little washed out in the background because it's kind of how it was. It's a little too bright, but you wanted to bring that in to the photo just a little bit. You can do that and still, boom, give it a little bit of light, right? So you can do that. Let's reset this. And also, just for your personal knowledge, that makes it darker, brings in the shadows, that makes it lighter. You can see how it's blown out when you see that. And that's done with the J tool. Hit the letter J. Right? It's always a good tool. You always want to make sure whether you have your shadows are too dark or your your highlights are too blown out. Let's reset that. Okay. So if you wanted to put certain points, say you wanted to just control this area here. You see it's a little bit of spike right here. We just wanted to control that area. So what we can do is just delete that. Let's bring that part down. But when you bring that down, understand that the other part will adjust. So what you do is you put another point there and you kind of bring that down just a little bit. And you can, while still adjusting this if you want, and I'm being real extreme about it so you can kind of see. So that way you just control the point that you want. Do it again. Say you wanted to adjust just this spike, a point right here, a point right here, and a point right here, and it'll just isolate that part. And then if you want to make sure that that gets back to where it needs to be, bring that back down as close to the 45-degree angle. And you just work that, right? Here's after, that's before. And you can see the difference in the rocks. Also just know whether it is the parametric mode or the point mode, this is going to be standard, the 45-degree angle. If you wanted to milk the blacks, as they say, you bring that up and it'll remove the shadows. If you wanted to make it darker, you bring that down and you see, let me hit J, come off of that right quick, and it'll make that darker. Same thing up here. If you want to affect the highlights, bring that up. And if you wanted to kind of mute it, you can do that also. This is infinite. So which means you can pull that curve down here and that line will still just continue, right? And you can really experiment whatever type of mode or whatever type of feeling you want to create. Now, a couple of more things. Let's go to, let's say we want to, let's go to this one. Let's reset. Let's say we want to change a little bit. We want to affect the green. Now, what I like about the new update in Lightroom Classic is that it tells you exactly what's going to happen. When you put it in when the RGB channel, red, green, blue, when you put it in the individual channels, it tells you what it's going to do. So you have the green here, right? Makes everything the tone of the entire image, right? So you can change that, the way that looks. Let's go to a different one that are really where you can kind of see it a little better. Here we go. So we in red, we in the R in the red channel, right? You can affect it a little bit, bring it out a little bit if you want to. Let's go to green, same way. So I don't really use the RGB individual channels. You can, let's just be real crazy about it. You can create different little looks if you wanted to, but I never use them. I never go individual, not at this point. Whatever I have to do is normally done through other methods that I use. If you want to just kind of bring that up a little bit, just kind of have fun, play with it. It's non-destructive, so you can do whatever you need to do and bring it right back to normal. Boom, and you're really good. Hit the reset button, you're good to go. Now, a couple more things. Well, I did say that last time. Well, this really is a couple more things. Let's go back to her. If you don't even want to fool with that at all, this is what you can do. Reset that. Let's go to linear. Let's reset the whole channels like that. Go back to parametric mode. And here you go. Just play with the presets. Once you play with the presets, you see it immediately adjusts this over here. Let's go back, show you one more time. Reset all. Boom. Let's go to cross. At one point in time, I did all my images cross processing. Hit that. It's not a lot of adjustment, right? Not an issue, but that it actually is. And then you can adjust whatever you need to off that. So you can use these as guides and then do whatever you need to do off that. Now, the last thing I'm gonna show you is, say you're making your own curve? What if you want to save your own tonal curve, right? Maybe you're working with a project, it's a lot of the same, and for some reason you kind of on a roll and you want to save your curve. This is how you save it. So from here, it's going to be, once you hit that drop down menu, you're not going to see anything. You're not going to see it because nothing has changed. As soon as you change it, let's make a simple S curve. Up and down, like not too far up. Say you make that, right? Just a little bit, bring it down a little bit low. Okay. Say you create that. Now it says custom. You come down here, you go to save. A little thing comes up. We're going to hit YouTube curve. And we're going to save it. And there you go. So now every time, no matter how many times you reset it, you can close it and open it back up. Go to another picture. It's always going to say YouTube curve. Now this is what I don't see on YouTube. And how do you get rid of that? Say you don't want to call that YouTube curve. Say you want to call it something else or whatever you want to call it. This is how you uninstall it or you delete it. Because if you go here, there's no right click delete. There's no right click delete. There's no right click delete at all. Even if you go back, say you go back in your you can go back in your history thinking like, okay, well, if I get, no, it's still there, right there. It doesn't go away. How do you get rid of that? I'm gonna show you how. I'm gonna show you how on a Mac. So we're gonna go, let's minimize this. And then we're gonna go come out of here. There we go. So once you click onto the desktop, you're gonna go to go. You're gonna hold down the Option key. When you hold down that Option key, you see something called Library. You click that. It brings this up. You go to Application Support. You go to Adobe. You go to Camera Raw. You go to Curves, and then you go YouTube Curve. You got to do all of that just to delete that. And when you do, empty that in the trash. Get rid of that. Open that back up. And then we're going to close it down, and I'm going to show you. And now that we're back open, you see it's gone now. That's the only way you can delete it, right? So that's essentially what the tonal curve is. It basically adjusts the transitions from light to dark, highlights, shadows, etc. All right. And that's really it. So thanks guys for watching the tutorial. I really appreciate it. This is the tone curve in Lightroom Classic. I'll see you on the next video.